Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 19.5, is that how you would say it? 19.5th episode of the best ever Weiss Schwarz set review show. I am your interim host, Yue Pang. Kevin Kilua is unable to attend today because of Christmas. And same with his co-host, Jason. And so we got brought back because me and my co-host are the co-host of Days Old, Tom. We have no loved ones to celebrate the holidays with. I mean, you can just tell by how he's eating his food. Like, who would even love him?
I can be your loved one. Don't worry.
I'm okay, bro. Anyway, Tom, how you doing today, man? Glad to have you back. Glad to have both of us back, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I was back last week, or 2 weeks ago? Last week?
Oh, I actually didn't watch. You were there?
Love Live Superstar, what?
Oh, I actually wasn't watching. That's great. That's good to hear. Before we, jump into our guest, Tom, I do want to say it's nice to be able to celebrate here today with loved ones,
Oh, yeah?
which is why it's really distressing that I'm here on the show today with you. Anyways, today we got a special guest. He works at Strictly Broken TCG. He recently won a Japanese WGP qualifier, so pretty good player. Also works for a pretty good company. We have Jesh Kalsi.
No.
No one could beat you. No one in the room could beat you that day, right, Josh?
That's the only one person in particular. Unfortunately, it was not you.
Yeah. But didn't you beat him?
He didn't get to play me because I was at the O2 table, the prestigious O2 table.
Oh.
Anyways,
Washed, dude. Washed.
19.5 episode. It's RWBY. Very exciting. English exclusive set. English exclusive animation. Or, it's probably in a lot of other languages too, but we haven't had an English exclusive since I believe Mob Psycho, right?
Seven Deadly Sins.
Seven Deadly Sins. Oh, I forgot about that set, man. It was trash. We did a show for that one. My bad.
You did the review for that one too, yeah?
Yeah. But yeah, it's RWBY. Very exciting. That's how you pronounce it. RWBY, I do believe, not RWBY. RWBY. Jesh is a big fan of the show, I heard, Jesh. You watched all 8 seasons, right?
No. Well, sort of. But I have a shirt. It looks really nice. It's of a favorite character. She doesn't talk.
Nice. But yeah, this guy's not only a good player, he's also a fan of the show, so perfect person to bring on to review the cards. Before we get into the review show, I do want to give a special thank you to our sponsors. We got Nova TCG, Japanese Weiss Schwarz card store. This is not a Japanese Weiss Schwarz set, but Nova's a great friend and partner of ours, and he will be with us here today in spirit. Also, Weiss Tea Time, a Weiss Schwarz blog that does card reveals, does a whole database of card reveals so that you don't have to browse multiple different links and everything. You just go on Weiss Tea Time, look for card reveals for Japanese and English Weiss Schwarz. And has some of the creator has some of her own personal blogs on there too. Very exciting stuff. I use Weiss Tea Time to translate all of my Japanese cards during reveal season because I can't read Japanese, and so it's a great resource, definitely. The set is apparently legal to play in Japanese WGPs. That's awesome. That's really cool, actually. But yeah, thank you to Weiss Tea Time. And then finally, Strictly Broken TCG. English Weiss Schwarz trading card store, biggest in North America and probably the world. And we will have RWBY available. If you guys saw our posts, unfortunately, there are delays within Canada because of weather, because of, specifically in BC, the flood caused a lot of shipping delays. But RWBY will be available as soon as possible, as soon as we can manage that for you guys. Today was the release date, but, Wednesday, midweek, it's a bit hard. Let's be real. So, yeah, those are the sponsors. Thank you to all of them. Lastly, before we get into the show, I want to, I haven't done this in a while, but I want to call to attention our 5-star rating scale system that we use to review cards and help you, navigate what cards to purchase, what cards to put in your decks, what cards to, consider during the, early releases of sets. A 1-star reviewed card is a card that we are pretty confident is unplayable. You can probably skip those if you're buying singles. A 2-star card is a card that has niche applications or is a good card, but you're not playing many copies of them. So, because they're replaceable, because the effect's not that powerful, stuff like that. Those are usually 2s, the simple cards that, you play if you have to, or you don't need to play that many copies of because they're just for certain metas and stuff. 3-star cards are cards that we cannot accurately pinpoint during the early stages of the set. They're either very interesting, or the effects a little bit different, or it's hard to say. So we give 3-star because you need a rating for stuff you don't know, right? Because you can't know everything. 4-star cards are cards we can confidently say are good. You should be looking to put those in your cart when you're purchasing decks. They're cards that are just, pretty standout, pretty playable, pretty good stuff. Very simple rating. And then 5-star cards are cards that, like, these are the cards that make the set. These are the cards that make the set unique. These are the cards that if you are not going into the set, you as an opponent of a person playing the set should at least know. Should have a good knowledge of. And they are, not every set has 5-star cards because not every set is standout. But this rating is there for cards that are, of that caliber, of that. Yeah. Don't want to get too fancy with what I'm saying. Anyways, that's it for housekeeping. Oh yeah, we are doing giveaways. We are doing giveaway for 4 RWBY supply sets today. It's Christmas in 3 days. Even though Santa isn't real, RWBY supply sets definitely are. And we will do those giveaways during the intermissions of the show. So definitely get all your friends.
We are celebrating Christmas with our loved ones. Our loved ones are just the people in the chat, I guess. Chat.
I actually don't celebrate Christmas, Tom. I don't believe.
Why are you giving away cards, bro?
Because this is not
gifts.
My show. It's a show with sponsors who do celebrate Christmas. If it was up to me, there would be no such thing as Christmas.
Dude. Yeah, Strictly Broken celebrates Christmas.
But no, that's a cap, dude. That's a cap.
Dude, Christmas isn't real. Just like Santa Claus, and just like
But on the gift it says from Santa, so how can you say that Santa Claus doesn't exist more?
That's true. I mean, Santa Claus. It's really weird. When I was a kid, I caught Santa Claus making out with my mother. So I don't know. Kind of weird, champ, bro. But yeah, let's get. So yeah, we're doing a giveaway for that. Get all your friends in on the show. It's very exciting. And without further ado, let's get straight into the show. We always first review trial deck highlights. There is a trial deck for this set, and there are certain cards that you want to, of note in the trial decks. So, firstly, we got this RWBY Running. Pay 1 at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase. You may pay the cost if you do. Move this card to an open position of your backstage. Second ability, pay 1, put this card into your waiting room. Look at it up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose a remnant character from among them, reveal it to your opponent, put it into hand, and send the rest to waiting room.
Pretty decent card, all things considered.
Yeah,
Stock heavy, but seems fine.
This card does allow you to mill through your deck and give you a +1 for a cost. Pay 1 +1. Not a terrible card. I play it in a few decks, but I know a lot of people don't like spending out all their stock. So probably give it a 2. Solid.
Okie doke.
Next up, we got RWBY Huntress Wannabe. I thought I was gonna read it as Wanabe, like a Japanese. That would have been so cringe.
It's already cringe, dude.
When this card is placed on stage from hand, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room, and this card gets X power until end of turn. X is equal to the number of remnant characters milled among those times 1,000. And at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may put the top card of your deck into your waiting room. If that card is a remnant character, you may move this card to an open position of your backstage.
Hey, it's another plussing card level 0. It's a mill runner, but with extra stuff. That's pretty neat. This is a TD card.
Yeah. This card allows you to kill things. Gets up to 4K and mills 3 cards, up to 3 cards out of your deck. Maybe you don't want to run, but yeah, you might run a different 0. Maybe you run the other one over this one, the one we just saw previously. It's a very solid card, though. I personally really like this card, so give it a 4.
4 it is. Next up, we got RWBY Teamwork. When this card attacks, if you have 2 or more other remnant characters, it gets 2,000 power until the end of turn. When this card's battle opponent is reversed, if Initiation, the door climax pictured on the right, is in your climax area, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 remnant character, reveal it to your opponent, add it to hand, put the remaining cards into the waiting room, and then choose one of your characters, and it gets 2,000 power until the end of the turn.
Pretty standard level 1 combo. This one combos with the door, which is, all right. Pretty nice. What do you think, Jesh?
It's not terrible. 6/5 on attack. 7/5. It gets over a lot of things. Contest the board, and allows you to give more power to your other cards if you get the reverse off. So, solid card. Solid card. Probably give it a 2 though. Maybe you run something else. Kind of. It's does require a reverse. Give it a 2.
Fair enough.
Alrighty.
We got a card called Ren Hunted. It's a 1,000 power backup, but effectively a 2,000 power backup because the other ability is to give another 1,000 power if you have a remnant character.
2K backup.
Yep, 2K backup. Nothing else to say. Is 2. Move on.
In the TD though, never seen one of these in the trial deck. Yang, depends if you're from China or speak Chinese. Yang, whatever. Enraged. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may put the top card of your clock into your waiting room. Next ability, pay 1, put a card from your hand into waiting room. When this card attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, all of your remnant characters get 500 power and a soul until end of turn.
Wow. Famous card profile. I forget. It's an Asuna card, but it's in a TD now. It's not bad.
Yeah. Give your cards some extra damage, extra reach. Maybe even side for better numbers. Healer. Not bad. Solid card. Give it a 2.
Sounds good. Next up, we got Blake Bookworm. Your other remnant character in the middle position of your center stage gets Encore, hand Encore, because you can put a character from your hand to waiting room. We call it hand Encore. Next effect is a Brainstorm. When did they start buffing draw Brainstorms? This card flips over 5 cards, and if you hit a climax, draw a card.
Yeah, in the last year, they started making draw Brainstorms mill 5. In the Japanese game. I think is this the first time we've seen a mill 5 draw Brainstorm in English?
I believe so.
Start with Hololive? Yeah, sure. This is okay. This is honestly not that bad. Pretty nice option if you got TDs, I think.
Yeah, giving a card hand Encore is never terrible. And especially milling 5 cards over the regular 4 allows you to get your next refresh faster. It would have to see how it works in most decks, though. Overall, I'd say it's a good alternative to some other cards that you usually play in place of this. Give it a 2.
Yep.
Next up, Roman Towards a Heist. When this card is placed on stage from hand, reveal the top card of your deck. That card is a remnant character. Put it in the hand, choose a card in your hand, and put it into waiting room. We call this effect console. So exclamation console in chat. And then pay 2 when this card is put into your waiting room from the stage. You may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 remnant character, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck.
Another solid card. Not the greatest, not the best, but it's functional. Seems like, right?
Yeah. but when you're playing standby, it can definitely change the outcome of your deck state, because if you have this card on the board, play over it with a standby, you get to search through your deck and filter out a card. Give yourself a little bit extra luck, you know. Overall, very solid card. So I'll give it a 2.
All right. More TD cards. We got Weiss Teamwork. This card is placed on stage from hand. Choose one of your remnant characters. And that character gets X power until end of turn. X is equal to the number of remnant characters you have times 500. When this card attacks, if initiation, which is the same climax as the previous card we saw, is in your climax area, choose this card and one of your other characters, and those characters get the following ability until end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 remnant characters from among them. Reveal them to your opponent, put them into your hand, and put the rest into waiting room.
It's a level 2 combo, which isn't the greatest, but it does combo with the level 1 TD combo we talked about just before, so not bad, all things considered.
Once you get this card out, you can obtain considerable hand size. A lot of people really like this card. I personally think it's pretty okay. So I'd have to see how it plays out in like testing, but it seems like it could bring a lot to the table. I'll probably give it a 3.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Next up, we got Weiss Battle Stance. I do believe this is the last trial deck card we're looking at today. When this card is placed on stage from hand, this card gets X power until end of turn. X is equal to the number of remnant characters you have times 1,000. And then pay 2, put 2 remnant characters from your hand into your waiting room. This ability activates up to 1 time per turn. During the turn that this card is placed on stage from hand, at the end of this card's attack, you may pay the cost if you do stand this card.
It's just a restander that doesn't need a climax, which is nice for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Doesn't need a reverse either.
It can give extra reach. It cost is quite heavy, but it's pretty worth it, especially since it doesn't require a climax in your climax zone, and it gets quite big. So give it a 2. 2 seems pretty solid.
All right. That's it for the trial deck cards. We'll move straight into yellow, and then after yellow, we'll do our first giveaway for one of the RWBY supply sets. Exciting stuff. Let's jump straight into it. First up, we got... All right, Tom in the pre-show told me to always say these names with the correct pronunciation. So
lying. What a liar.
I am not lying.
He literally wanted to do this to piss off people. I have nothing to do with this.
Thanks, Kingler033 for the prime. Anyways, Tom, you're gaslighting me. This is Taiyon Xiaolong. When this card is placed on stage from hand, reveal the top card of your deck. That card is a remnant character. Choose one of your characters, and that character gets 2,000 power until end of the turn. And then when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, choose one of your other remnant characters, rest it, and move it to an open position of your backstage.
It's a clean cut. With a kind of versatile first effect. It can pop itself for something else. But pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I do really like this card. It allows you to gain a +1, and it gives has the possibility. It is a possibility. It can miss to give another character 2,000 power. But that 2,000 power is really a lot, well, as we have seen with previous sets. I will give this card a 4 though, because not every deck's gonna run it. I don't think every deck is gonna run it, but I do really like it. What does their name mean, anyway?
I think it means Sun Dragon. Sun Dragon. Yeah.
Do people name their kids this in China?
Yeah, probably. It's a reasonable name to name someone if their last name is Yang. If their clan name is Yang, yeah, it's a pretty reasonable. Very reasonable actually. There's if you search this up, probably some actress's name is this. I'm not joking. So 4 it is though, and yeah, I think Man, if this misses, it's just not clean cutting anything. I think they already mentioned it. I just wanted to say that because this is the only
Yeah.
card I wanted to comment on. So people think this effect
Xiaolong.
is so good, but if it misses, it doesn't do anything. Little Sun Dragon. That's I'm gonna name my kid Little Sun Dragon. And they get bullied in school. Next up, we got John School Dance, but in French this is Jaune. So I just want to flex that I know French. When School Dance is placed on your climax area, if you have another remnant character, choose one of your other characters, and that character gets the following ability until end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, search your deck for up to one remnant character, reveal it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. When this card attacks, if all your characters are remnant, you choose one of your characters and it gets 2,000 power. Till end of the turn, the climax is a choice pictured on the right.
Wow. This is pretty. It's a pretty good combo, I think. Yeah. The power isn't tied to the combo, so this card's always useful.
And pump itself is a kind of a problem.
It can.
No, it can't.
Yes,
No,
it can.
it can.
It can.
Oh, you're right.
Same thing for
This
the
card's
yacht,
amazing.
Same thing for the clean cut. It can pump itself too.
It's a pretty unique card where you can have 4 on the board and then give all the effects to one character, and to just get 4 searches out of it. I really like what they're trying to do with on reverses, trying to make sure you can get them. This card probably a 3. I don't know how it's gonna function. Maybe people can't get the reversal, but pretty decent from what I've seen.
Sure, 3 it is. And someone in chat did mention, yes, you can give the power to anyone, but the effect, the on reverse effect, only to other characters. But anyone get the power.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Sun Wukong. You know, if you play League of Legends, you already know. When this card is placed on stage from hand, if you have another remnant character, this card gets 2,000 power until end of turn. Pay 1, put the top card of your deck into your clock. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may pay the cost. If you do, look it up 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 remnant characters from among them, reveal them to your opponent, put them into your hand, and put the rest into your waiting room.
Neato card. It'll usually reverse something because it'll be 4K when it's played. What do you think, Jesh?
It's great until you reveal a climax in an event, and then kind of bad. But it is you will usually get you a card, and it'll usually take out something on the board. So solid card. I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna work out in decks, so give it a 2. Give it 2.
Next up, we got Jean Arc. All of your other Pira Nikos get 500 power and auto encore. Put a remnant character from your hand to your waiting room. It is a level assist, so 500 power times the level of the character it assists behind. And then it has a climax swapping effect. The 2 climaxes you see pictured on the right, it can discard one to grab the other when this card is placed on stage from hand. The Pyra is pictured on the left. We'll discuss that card later, but what do you guys think of this card?
It's pretty good in the deck if you run both these combos. Otherwise, it seems pretty niche.
Gosh, I wish that were me. But but yeah, this card does fit a niche in the specific deck, but maybe you could run it just to give the pure power and the hand encore. Who knows? Bring it out with the standby. Doesn't seem too terrible. Give it a 3. I think it's pretty solid.
Gosh, I
Weird
wish
champ,
that
bro.
were me. What a quote for the ages.
Kinda. I thought you said this wasn't that kind of show, dude.
Yeah, what the heck? Cringe. Next up, we got Yang Vital Festival. When this card is placed on stage from hand, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 card from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest into your waiting room. Climax combo with the choice pictured on the right. When falling into a trap is placed into your climax area, choose one of your other characters. That character gets the following ability until end of turn. This ability activates up to 1 time per turn. When damage dealt by this card is cancelled, you may deal 2 damage to your opponent.
Not bad, honestly. It's pretty all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This card allows you to dig through your deck, and give you an extra point of damage if your opponent cancels. Interesting card. 2. Go to 2.
Next up, we got Neon Cat. It's like they asked toddlers to name these characters. When this card is placed on stage from hand, if your opponent has one or less characters in their center stage, choose one cost 0 or lower character in your opponent's center stage and put it at the bottom of their deck. At the beginning of your opponent's draw phase, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is level 1 or higher, you may return this card to your hand.
The first effect is quite powerful, depending on what you're playing against. Second effect is just nice bonus, I guess.
Yeah. Depending on what your deck constitutes, you could get a free +1 off of this. It is a exclamation coin flip, so there's a chance basically flipping a coin on if this card will return to your hand or not. I really like this card. I think it'll see play in a lot of decks. A lot of people really like this profile, so give it a 4. Give it a 4.
I remember, Josh, someone at our locals who slammed 3 of these against me and it didn't bounce back, and he's just scooped. I'm not gonna name names though, but I think we both know who it is.
It's good to point out
you've done that. You've done that too, though.
That's true.
You actually reached out to shake my hand, and then you missed the flip. It was very,
Next up, we got Uniform Jean. All of your other remnant characters get 500 power. When your climax is placed on your climax area, choose one of your characters, and that character gets 1,000 power until end of the turn.
Wow, this is so bad.
We've seen this before. 1, you're probably not gonna play it. Well, you could, but I'd give it a 1.
Smooge. Next up, we got Yang Framed. Oh, Framed? Oh no. If you have 2 or more other remnant characters, this card gets 1,000 power. Pay 1, put a card from your hand to waiting room. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 remnant character, reveal it to your opponent, put it to your hand, shuffle afterwards.
Just a standard drop searcher. It's pretty all right, I think.
They've started printing a lot more of these.
Yeah, that's true.
And especially at uncommon already. Crazy. 3K beater at level 0. Allows you to maybe filter your cards. Solid. 2.
Yeah.
I like her character art. It's nice.
Have you seen? Wait.
I'm
I'll
okay.
Make you...
She's based off Goldilocks, dude. Because they're all like fairy tales.
Yeah, I like the scarf. Uniform. Okay, there's no scarf here. What an FF angle. When you use this card's backup, reveal the top card of your deck. That card is a
chicken, dude.
Yo,
it's a RuneScape chicken, dude.
When you use this card's backup, you reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a remnant character, put it in the hand. Choose a card in your hand and put it into your waiting room. And it's also a 2,000 power backup. It's also 1 costed. Do bear in mind.
What else? Not much to say about this card, honestly. It's what we'd call Leaf counter at level 1. Not bad in the choice deck, right, Josh?
Yeah, it's a backup. I have nothing to say about this card. It's kind of generic profile that keeps getting printed over and over again. Give it a 2.
She has the same smile as Bender from Futurama. Just saying. Next up, we got Taiyon Xiaolong.
Is that the dad?
Yeah, that's apparently the dad.
It's the dad.
Okay.
During your turn, all of your other remnant characters get 1,000 power. Pay 1, put a card from your hand into your waiting room, and rest this card. Look it up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 card from among them, put it into your hand, and put the rest into your waiting room.
2 kind of okay effects, right?
It could have been better. but it does allow you to get a climax, which is possibly powerful. It's interesting, but it could have been better. Give it a 2. Give it a 2. Move on.
We got Young, warm welcome. Where's your Scarf at, man? If you have 2 or more other Remnant characters, it gets 3,000 power, and it has auto encore. Discard a Remnant character from your hand to your waiting room.
Typical, kind of standard-ish. 2/2 standby target.
Standby target. Put in standby deck. 2.
Yeah.
Worth noting, these are usually better than the ones that have per character conditions, right? Just something worth noting. It's nice.
That's true.
It's a nice card. It's very.
We got Glinda, Good Witch. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may put the top card of your clock into waiting room. Pay 1, put a card from your hand to your waiting room. When this card attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, this card gets 2,000 power. And the following ability until end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent.
Hey. Well, this does remind. Okay, so, this is pretty all right actually. Not pretty good healer. Actually,
Yeah.
What do you think, Josh?
It heals. It deals. What more could you want? 2
Bars.
Solid add to the deck. Give it a 2.
Heals and deals. I've never heard that, but I like that. Heals and deals. Everyone should use that. That's great. That's actually, dude, not a lot of genius things come out of your mouth, Josh. But that was one of them, for sure.
Okay.
Heals and deals. I fucking love that, man. Arslan Alton. When this card attacks, if you have another Remnant character, it gets 3,000 power until end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, if you have another Remnant character, you may draw a card. If you do, choose a card in your hand and put it into your waiting room.
It's fine.
It kills things. So
Yeah, it's like a nice 7k attacker.
but I personally wouldn't play it. So I give it a 1.
Okay.
Sounds good. Next up, we got
I was not prepared for this name.
Bronze.
Is this guy a major character? Is this guy? Does this guy matter?
No.
Bronze
Okay.
knee.
Dang, I was about to watch this show. If I could hear this guy's name every episode.
When this card is placed on stage from hand, put the top 2 cards of your deck into waiting room. If there is a climax among those cards, this card gets 3,000 power until end of turn. When this card is placed on stage from hand, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room. If there is a climax among those cards, choose 1 character and it gets 1,500 power until end of turn.
Yeah, I don't know.
It can contest cards. at
This is a
level 1.
very limited card. This is a very limited card. I think.
It seems like a fun card, but I'd give it a 1.
Smooge.
I don't have a problem with that. I think.
Dude, if you're drawing perfectly, this is literally Azasa. People are right. It's literally Azasa. Man.
Wow, dude.
That's true.
Wow.
Okay, we got Sun Vital Festival. If you have 4 more Remnant characters, this card gets -1 level while in your hand. Put a team SSSN from your climax area into your waiting room. That's the choice picture on the right. At the end of this card's attack, you may pay the cost. If you do, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 Remnant characters from among them. Reveal them to your opponent, put them into your hand, and put the rest into your waiting room.
Dang. Doesn't even need a reverse.
Very interesting card.
Not bad. TBH.
I'd give it a 2. Maybe you could.
Yeah.
Maybe
Team social security number for the win.
What's your sign, Tom?
What? My
What's your
sign?
Your social security.
Oh.
My social security number?
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
Don't worry.
whoa.
You can trust. You can trust.
Whoa.
Whoa, I'm pretty sure that's as
Whoa.
inappropriate
I know it's
to
Christmas,
ask.
but I know it's Christmas, but you know.
All right, next up we got. Oh, what did you give it?
Oh,
2.
2. Give it a 2.
I gave it a 2.
Give it a 2.
Next up, we got this uncommon event, a childhood memory. If you do not have a remnant character, this card cannot be played from your hand, and you may choose a remnant character from your hand, put it into waiting room. If you do, choose a climax in your waiting room, and return it to hand.
Just a climax retrieving event.
Yeah.
Fine.
Not terrible.
Yeah.
Solid 2. Could go in any deck.
Any deck that runs yellow, of course.
Well, yeah.
I was watching a different set review stream, and they did point out that this card helps you play 2 or less condition early plays.
Wow, big brain.
That was true.
Smooch. Anyways, next card. Oh, no more yellow. That's it for yellow. Yes, Pogo indeed. Pogo? Okay, anyways. Green. The color of cash.
And other things.
And other things. Here's a Li Ren. Li Ren. I actually don't know what that means. I hear people say Li Ren, but I don't know what that means. When this card becomes reversed, if you have another remnant character and this card's battle opponent is level 0 or lower, you may put the top card of your opponent's clock into waiting room. If you do, put that character into your opponent's clock. Pay 1 when this card is put into your waiting room from the stage. You may pay the cost. If you do, look it up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 1 card from among them, put it into your clock, and put the rest into your waiting room. If you put a card into your clock, choose a remnant character in your waiting room and return it to hand.
Wow, a clock bomb that is a +1, right? Yeah, and color fixes at the same time. Nice.
Yeah, it allows you to put anything you want into your clock. Even a climax, that'd be great. There's no, I don't believe there's any experience that we've seen so far that requires anything to specifically be in the clock, but nonetheless, this card is very, very good. Like it gets rid of another card and grabs you another card. So I'd give this 4. Pretty good.
It's also the Bro Championship promo, I do believe. Right, Josh? Is it this one?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so. But this does come in a regular foil as well. So make sure you check out Strictly Broken TCG to find that.
Fair enough. For it is, next up we got Emerald Sustry.
Sus.
Yeah, a little bit sus. Your other character in the middle position of your center stage gets 500 power. It's also a Brainstorm. Tap 2 of your characters, flip over 5 cards from the top of your deck. For each of these 2 climaxes pictured on the right, revealed, you may search your deck for up to 1 remnant character and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards.
Specific deck card. You only run this if you run these 2 climaxes, I guess. I don't know. First effect is okay.
We'd have to see how the deck performs compared to all the other ones. Although it is 5-card Brainstorm? Yeah, pretty good. So give it a 3.
3 it is. Oh, next up we got Ozpin. When this card is placed on stage from hand, look it up to 2 cards from the top of your deck and put them on top of your deck in any order. When this card attacks, if you have 1 or less other characters, you may put the top card of your deck into your waiting room. If that card is a level 0 or lower character, put it on any position of your backstage.
It's like kind of a level 0 plus. It's fine. It won't reverse anything, which is I think the biggest problem.
Yeah, this card is pretty good as a first turn attacker. Although you could probably run a variety of other cards to replace this, so that are probably better. I'd give it a 2.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Penny Poladina. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, this card gets 1500 power until end of turn. When this card attacks, if the gold bar military weapon is placed in your climax area on your right, and you have another remnant character, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room, choose up to 1 level X or lower remnant character in your waiting room, and return it to hand. X is equal to the total level of the cards put into your waiting room by this effect.
Exclamation point cigarettes? Or is it cigar? Okay, 1 second. It's a cigarettes combo. There we go. It's a salvage combo thing. Yeah.
Very, very neat. Very neat. The bar trigger probably makes this a lot better. I don't know how this card will perform, but it does feel very good. So we'll give it a 3.
I can't help but feel like her hair is a little bit phallically shaped.
What?
What does that mean?
What is how?
I don't know. I'm not saying that means anything. I'm just saying.
Have you never seen? Wait, I mean, what?
Do you think like as a whole she looks phallic or
No. Just the hairstyle. I've seen this hairstyle before, but for some reason, it just
What?
looks like it. All right, I don't want to get canceled or anything, so let's just move on. All right, next up we got
What?
Black Field Trip. When your other character's battle opponent becomes reverse, choose one of your characters and that character gets 1000 power until end of turn. Pay 2, rest this card, search your deck for up to 1 remnant character revealed to your opponent. Put in the hand and shuffle your deck.
Just this is an okay back row card. Not the greatest, I think.
Yeah, it gets you a card. But the power of the pump could see some play. Give it a 2. It's okay.
Next up, we got Ren Winning Advice. Pay 2, put a character from your stage into your waiting room. When you use this card's backup ability, it's a 2500 power backup. You may pay the cost if you do. Choose one of your opponent's characters with level higher than your opponent's level and put it into their waiting room.
It is an anti-change counter. That's a sack counter as well. Pretty standard at this point, I think. That's an interesting apron he has on.
It is a standard sack counter. Well, sack counters tend to be a little better in certain decks that you play it in, but probably 2. Pretty generic.
What is this flavor text?
Pogo, man. Pogo. Next up, we got Uniform Ren. During your turn, this card gets 500 power for each of your other remnant characters. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, search your deck for up to 1 remnant character revealed to your opponent, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Discard 2 characters from your hand into your waiting room. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may pay the cost if you do. Put that character into your opponent's clock.
Another solid level 3 card. It gets big enough on its own for its clock kick ability. It's not bad.
It's relevant to point out that the power is only on its own turn. So it could see a little more play, but that kind of makes it a little worse. But you do get a search out of it. I give it a 3.
Sure. Next up, we got Ozpin fighting off Cinder. If Ozpin, the level 0, not any Ozpin, do bear in mind, it has to be this Ozpin, is in your clock, this card gets -1 level while in your hand. When this card is placed on stage from hand, draw up to 2 cards, choose a card in your hand, and put it into your waiting room. When this card attacks, if defending the school, which is the gold bar picture, is in your climax area and you have 4 more other remnant characters, this card gets 1000 power and the following ability until end of opponent's next turn. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, choose one of your opponent's characters and that character gets -2 soul until end of turn.
Right. So the return of a -2 soul combo at level 2. The condition is not the greatest, I think. unfortunately. What is your opinion on -2 soul combos now, Jesh?
You can put it. Oh well, the minus two soul combo itself, it's very okay. But you have a lot of cards at level 2 nowadays that will attack for 2 soul. So all they have to do is either like hit a trigger or something. It needs to be able to defend itself, which it only gains like an extra 1k power. But you could play something in the back row to get better. But it is good to point out that now the Lee Ren can put its condition into your clock. So pretty good. Kind of 3. I'd give it 3.
Were you
3.
talking about the level 0 one?
Yeah, the Ricky.
I think it has to be in the top 3
It
cards.
has to be in the top 3 cards. Yeah, and only choose from the top 3 cards to put into your clock.
Hey man, what's to say that you you don't see it in the top 3 cards?
Yeah, it's a combo, bro. You play the Ozpin, check 2, you're like, oh, Poggo.
Okay.
And then you...
Okay. All right.
All right. 3 it is. Next up, we got Roy Stallion, another interesting name. Return 2 characters from your waiting room to your deck. And shuffle your deck. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing.
If you do, this card's soul does not decrease by side attacking until end of turn. When this card attacks, choose one of your characters in your opponent's center stage, and that character gets minus 1,000 power until end of turn.
Right. Both kind of situational effects, I think. Yeah. Second effect is kind of worse than a regular power pump, and then the first effect is like, we see it sometimes, but it's like very specific, right, Josh?
Yeah, the man's a stallion. I'd give it a 1. It's a little too situational.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Sage Ayana. When this card is placed on stage from hand, choose up to one of your opponent's characters, put it into their memory, and your opponent puts that character from their memory on any position of their stage. When this card is placed on stage from hand, choose one of your other remnant characters, and that character gets 2,000 power until end of turn.
Wow, the dudes in the show are kind of built, huh?
Ripped.
This is what some people call a blinker. It's like a very specific effect. The second effect is all right. Is that? Yeah, it's all right. It's like fine. It's like it's pretty good. Pretty good utility. All things considered.
Pumping power is always good, and then you can even stop the Ozpin -2 soul by playing down this card, I think, right? So give it a
yes.
Give it a 2. Give it a 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
His face. Look at his face.
That's a sub, dude.
Oh my god.
I kind of feel some type of way right now, but Yatsuhashi Daichi.
Notably, this guy does not look built. I wonder why that is.
If your hand has 5 or more cards, it gets 2,000 power, and it has pay 1, put a character from your stage to waiting room, encore.
The second encore effect we've seen before, actually. I think Sao has a card that does this. It's a Xenon, I believe. That card was not that popular. I don't know that this card will be popular.
It is 3/5, but I think the encore ability is a little too costly. Also, you probably won't fulfill that condition at level 0 of just having another character on your board. If you're playing that.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
So,
Wow.
I'd give it a 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it's glad. Bartholomew Oobleck. Put a card from your hand to your waiting room. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a remnant character in your clock, return it to hand, and put the top card of your deck into your clock. When this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is cost 0 or lower, you may put the top card of your opponent's clock into their waiting room. If you do, put that character into your opponent's clock.
Cost 0 bomb. That is a hand filter. there are some other cards that fit this profile that have been pretty strong, actually. So I mean, this isn't bad for sure.
Yeah, it's a neat bit of fixing, but we don't. You don't really see too many 1/0s. I mean, costless cards nowadays. So, uh, but it is playable. Allows you to filter your hand. I give it a 2.
Fair enough. And remember, guys, it is precisely this kind of ignorance that breeds violence. Just remember. Just remember.
Nice. Where'd you get that one from, bro?
Albert Einstein. Next up, we got. Okay.
You can't.
Bro.
Boys, I think this might be where we get canceled. How is this?
What is this show? What is this show? I'm beginning to think there's something a little off about the show. I can't exactly place it, but you know,
this can't be real, right? This can't be real.
It was real, bro.
Directed by Sam Raimi. Flint Cole. During your turn, if you have another remnant character, this card gets 1500 power. Pay 1 when this card is placed on stage from hand. You may pay the cost if you do search your deck for up to 1 Flint Cole. Put it on any position of your stage and shuffle your deck.
Dude. Okay, this card is not very good. Unfortunately. Yeah.
It's
Sadly.
a +1. It's a plus. Well,
Yeah, but +1's itself.
you want to see two with this card, right? So
You can flood your board with Flint Coals.
only from hand though. Only from hand. So yeah, we probably give this a 1.
Someone said that his weapon is literally jazz music.
Oh, I'll point out that like each character in this world, they all have different weapons, and they all have names for the different weapons. But his name for his weapon is just trumpet. It's just trumpet.
Nice. I'm hurt. Why are people saying that? Bro.
All right, let's just move on. We got Coco Adele. If the character facing this card is cost 0 or lower, it gets +1 level and 3500 power.
Wait, why is her weapon so sick?
Yeah, it's Jinx. It's Jinx's.
And the previous weapon is so lame.
it's just a gun, dude.
At the beginning of the Encore step, if you do not have another rested character in your center stage, you may pay the cost if you do rest this card.
It's okay. These kinds of cards are like pretty okay in like standby decks, actually. I think so. This is like a consideration depending on what you think you can play against, right? I think
it's something that saves itself too if your entire board died. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's very niche play, maybe to counter a certain deck or a certain matchup.
That's true. Yeah.
I'd probably just give it a 1.
Fair enough. By the way, the previous card, we didn't rate it. It's Jesh, what do you rate it?
Oh, wait, no. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure I gave this a 1.
I don't think you said 1.
I'm fairly certain I gave it a 1.
Okay, well.
I didn't think.
Sag.
My bad. Next up, we got Emerald and Mercury infiltrating Beacon Academy. This card gets 500 power for each of your other remnant characters, and it has character encore.
Dude, her hand is so big. Okay.
You know what they say about big hands, right?
I don't think you play this card. Yeah.
Yeah. 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, Tom, do you know what they say about big hands?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Anyways, next up we got Emerald, Scouted, probably because of her big hands. During your turn, this card gets 1500 power for each of your other remnant characters. When your climax with a door trigger, in its trigger icon is placed on your climax area, look at the top card of your deck, put it on top of your deck or into your waiting room, and this card gets the following ability until end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may choose a remnant character in your waiting room and put it into your stock.
So, this is pretty big. 13.5. Why does it... This is like a thing in the set, but like, why does this This is not a red card, but it triggers on a red climax.
It's flavor.
Okay.
I
I
I'm
see.
the flavor expert here.
Okay, I see. All right.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
So it goes in a specific deck. You very good for that deck, I'd say, because you're trying to just get over things. I'd probably give it a 2. Gets a stock and gets pretty big. So
I like that it triggers even when you play the climax, not necessarily when you trigger it, which is like, it's pretty nice, for sure.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
We have Reese Chloris. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, choose one character in your opponent's center stage, and that character gets minus 1,000 power until end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, if the level of this card's battle opponent is higher than your opponent's level, you may put the top card of your opponent's clock into waiting room. If you do, put that character into your opponent's clock.
It's an anti-change bomb that has like a neat second effect. Cool.
yeah, very playable.
Yeah.
I've never
It's
heard
always-
the word chloris besides on a specific thing that has chloris in it. No, actually, no. I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
It's just her name, dude.
What are you saying?
I don't know. I'm tripping.
Wait.
Why are you making this weird?
Press 2. Go.
Wait, I gave it a 2.
I didn't even say anything.
Oh, I thought you said 2.
I never.
Wait, I'm
How are you,
tripping. I don't. My bad. Okay, what you rated? Sorry.
You're giving me a 2. It does only target in the center stage, so kind of smooch.
No, it doesn't target back row.
It target back row. Hey, man, this card's pretty good.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. I swore I heard you say 2.
Yeah.
Weird. Anyways,
You can check the quad later.
we have Carden Winchester. This card gets 2,500 power for each character in your opponent's backstage. And it has a, at the beginning of the encore step, if you don't have another rested character on your center stage, you may pay the cost. If you do rest the card, the cost is pay 1.
This doesn't seem very good. So
Very dependent on your opponent. So your opponent dictates how big this card is. And it does save itself.
true.
It does save itself, but your entire board would have died.
Well, then you're saving a kind of a poo-poo card, unfortunately. So
We give it a 1. Give it a 1.
The chat's just filled with a bunch of rappers, man. Carden. Heal and deal. We're just rapping today. Anyways,
Bacon
next card
Academy?
is Bacon Academy, bro. Put this card into your memory. Reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is an event or a remnant character, put it into your hand. Pogo. During your turn, if this card is in memory, all of your remnant characters get 500 power.
wow, this is an Adventure Time card.
3.
What did you call this, UA?
What did I call this? Broken?
Yes, but like, okay, never mind. Josh, what do you think?
It replaces itself. Gets you a little bit of memory stuff, but you have to draw this card. So, I don't think there's anything bonds to it or searches for it. Very very okay. I give it a 2. Yeah, I give it a 2. It's pretty okay.
And that's it for green. But first red card we got Pyrrha, Fall Maiden's Vessel Candidate. When this card becomes reversed in battle, you may reveal up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. If you revealed 1 or more cards, choose up to 1 remnant character from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. Choose a card in your hand and put it into your waiting room. And when this card becomes reversed in battle, if your memory has 2 or less cards, you may put this card into your memory.
Is that a memory condition I smell?
Not at the moment. I don't see anything. All I see is a ghost memory.
First effect is decent, and I assume there's going to be some condition for this second effect to be relevant.
Very very solid hand fixer. That gives you memory compression. So 4. I give it a 4. I think you'd see this in a lot of decks.
Question. If you choose that it goes to memory first, can you still do the first effect?
I
Yes.
believe so.
Yes.
Okay. Smoj. No real sharkable interaction there. Sag. Next up, we got Nora Valkyrie. When your other character's battle opponent becomes reversed, choose one of your remnant characters and it gets 500 power until end of turn. It is a Brainstorm, pay 1, tap itself to flip over 4 cards. Just like all Brainstorms for each, well, not all, but a good chunk of them. For each climax hit, you may choose a remnant character in your waiting room and return it to hand.
Oh, sorry. Solid Brainstorm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Solid Brainstorm. 4. I think you play this over most of the other back row cards we've seen. So 4.
Her never mind.
What? You about to say something, Yue?
I'm
It
good.
was-
Cinder.
This is Nino Brainstorm, yes.
Yeah.
I think? No. Wait, go back? Yes, it is Nino Brainstorm.
Next up, Cinder, complete Maiden powers. If Amber Fall Maiden is in your memory, this card gets 3,000 power, making it 11,000 cross turn if the card is in memory. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may put the top card of your clock into waiting room, so it's a healer. And when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, if Fall Maiden's downfall is in your climax area, deal 1 damage to your opponent and put that character on top of your opponent's deck.
Pretty decent card, all things considered, I think. Is it spoiled? Does she die?
Who? What are you talking about?
I mean, that climax looks like she dies, but
Yeah, it's kind of ripped, dude. But who knows? Who
Sad,
knows?
dude.
No spoilers. This card is fairly good. I think we've seen this card before. Isn't there something like this in Excel War?
no.
Oh.
There's a Conti collection card that's like this. The Iowa, I believe.
It's fairly powerful at 12k heals.
So the Iowa is like slightly different, but it's like mostly the same kind of card.
And stacks card on top of your opponent's deck. What more could you want? Although I'm not too certain about the deck it's being played in. 8 gates, right? Most of the time, I would assume, because combo you have the Brainstorm that also grabs the climax. So I give it a 3.
Okay. Pretty specific card. Not sure if it's gonna be good. That seems fine to me.
Next up, we got, I do think the titular character, I assume at least. If all your characters are remnant, it gets 2,000 power, so 11,000 power cross turn. This card is placed on stage from hand. You may put the top card of your clock into waiting room. And it has a memory requirement climax combo. So if the Pyrrha that we saw 2 cards ago is in your memory,
you need 2 or more. You need 2 or more.
Oh, when 2 or more of it is in your memory, and then when the standby climax Ruby's Awakening is placed on your climax area, beautiful climax by the way. If this card is in your center stage, and again, two Pyrrhas are in your memory, you may pay the cost, which is to rest this card. If you do, deal 3 damage to your opponent and choose 1 level 3 or lower character facing this card, put it into your opponent's clock.
There's been a lot of discussion about this card when it was spoiled. Fairly similar to the Konosuba card. That is the Megumi. I think I remember you like this card a lot though, Jesh, right?
Yeah, it being 11k, and it just straight up putting one of your opponent's cards into their clock, gets around some really powerful cards that are a lot bigger than this. So it's also a healer. I think it's just a bonus. You're probably getting this out with the standby most of the time. So,
Wait.
yeah,
Yeah.
I really like this card. I personally am gonna give it 5 because I really like this card.
Would you say, Jesh, that it heals and deals?
Most of the time, it's not gonna heal, bro.
It's fair. But 5. Woo, Poggo! Wait, where's the air horns? Kevin inputted an air horns into this stuff.
There's an air horn.
Oh,
button.
really?
I don't know how to do it, though. Whatever, I can't do it. Yeah, when there's a 5, there's a very loud air horn that blasts. But he stopped doing it because it hurt people's ears. Woo! 5. Yeah, you know, Megumin wasn't on a standby, guys. This is on a standby, and it wasn't dealing damage.
Also,
anyways.
Megumin didn't heal, and it cost 1, and it burned 4 instead of 3.
That's true.
Memory fixes everything. Seems like. Also, Megumin wasn't 11k.
Oh yeah, it's true. It's only 10k. So just basically straight up upgrades across the board, right?
Yeah, dude. Memory fixes everything. Balanced mechanic. Very balanced.
All right. So that's it. It's 5. Next up, we got. Is it pronounced Salem or Salem?
It's Salem.
Oh, Salem. Oh, Salem. Isn't that like the? Okay, never mind. This card gets 1,000 power for each character in your opponent's
Were
backstage.
you about to say like the Smash player?
No, like the Salem Witch Trials. Is that a city?
Yeah, the town of Salem. Yeah.
Yes, Salem is a town.
Okay.
Was a town? I
Yeah,
don't know if it still is a town.
Sure. I mean, I think they
Read
killed
the
everyone in
effects,
that
boss.
town, bro. Anyways, when this card is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost if you do choose one of the following effects and perform it. Your opponent either puts all their stock into waiting room and puts the same number of cards from the top of their deck into their stock, or you put the bottom 5 cards of your opponent's deck into their waiting room and deal X damage to your opponent. X is equal to the number of climaxes among those cards.
On the surface, like a pretty standard stock swap, and then sometimes it does something else, which is cool. Cool card.
Yeah. Its power is reliant on your opponent giving it the power. So I don't know if it's an auto include in every deck. I do like all its abilities. So I'll give it a 4. It's a very solid card.
4. That's good. Next guy, we got Raven Branwyn. When your climax is
Raisin
played.
Bran.
Is that your favorite cereal, Tom?
Dude, Raisin Bran is goated. Actually.
Wait, what's wrong with you?
Okay. Dude, I had it when I was in the hospital. It's so good. Raisin Bran is amazing. It's like the only for breakfast I would just get Raisin Bran every day. It was great. Raisin Bran is amazing, dude. You guys are looking at me side eye. You guys are so cringe. Have you eaten Raisin Bran recently? It's so good.
I'm more of a Lucky Charms guy, so.
Dude, so cringe.
I'm more of a.
So cringe. I'm gonna make you eat Raisin Bran next time I see you. And you're gonna agree with me that Raisin Bran is goated.
Next time you see me, huh? Gonna have to unfriend some people after this on Facebook. When your climax is placed on your climax area, this card gets 1,500 power until end of turn. When this card attacks, choose one of your other remnant characters, and that character gets X power until end of turn. X is equal to the number of other remnant characters you have times 500.
Shimakai, what we call this. Pretty standard card.
It's neat. I'd give it a 2, just because of the way you can probably get over multiple cards. So 2.
Next up, we got Adam Taurus, 1-0. Oh, we usually never say that. I don't know why I said it just now. Put one of your other remnant characters from your stage into your waiting room. When this card attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a remnant character, put it into your hand.
Not bad for a costless card, all things considered. I think non-climax combo, it's a kind of a plus because you're usually sacking something that will go to the waiting room anyways. So, yeah, what do you think, Jesh?
This card can miss if you're playing events.
It's true.
I'd really have to see how it plays. A lot of people tell me it's good, but I don't know. I'd give it a 3, just because I don't know. So
Think of the value proposition here. It's either you get a card back, and if you don't, you're gonna trigger a standby to place in that slot anyways, right?
What if it's an event, bro? What if it's an
just don't play events, bro.
Yeah, okay.
Excuse me.
You're right.
Spoilers, excuse me.
Discard outlet is not a discard outlet. It sacks one of your cards that is on your board already. So the play is to ram something in, crash, or tie, or whatever, and then sack that card to get a card into your hand to replace that card. Which is why we say it's kind of a +1, kind of card advantage.
It is also kind of small, though. Like, I guess 5K is normal, but
It is
for
small.
having
That is
an
true.
extra
It is
ability,
small.
but
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows? Maybe you do trigger standby, and then you standby word itself.
Yeah, bro. This
I
card.
think it's fair to be. I think it's fair to be uncertain about this card.
Yeah. 3 it is. Next up, we got Amber Fall Maiden, the condition in memory for the double R we saw not too long ago. During your turn, it gets 1,000 power. Pay 1, put the top card of your deck into your clock. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a remnant character in your waiting room and return it to hand.
Solid card. It is. It interacts with the level 3, right? The Cinder from earlier. So if you're playing that card, you're probably playing this card, I assume. So
It's good to note that it grabs any Revenant character, not restricted to level or anything. To any.
Yeah.
And then 3K is not a bad power line, especially on the turn you play it down, which is most likely going to be level 0. But if you play a level 3, you can grab a level 3. So if you need it. I'd give this a 3. I just don't know if it'd fit in like every single deck.
Yeah. Note that this doesn't send itself to memory for the thing. So there's clearly a spoil. Like there's another card that's obviously going to be able to do that, or that'd just be dumb. There wasn't. Next up we got Zwei, Doggo, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu coin. I'm down. Put 1 card from your hand into your waiting room. When this card is placed on stage from hand, put the top 2 cards of your deck into waiting room. There is a climax among those cards. You may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 remnant character, reveal it to your opponent, put it into hand, and shuffle your deck. Second ability is pay 1, discard a card. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a remnant character from your waiting room and return it to hand. Choose one of your other remnant characters and it gets 1,000 power until end of turn.
Doggo, Pago, double salvage. No, sorry. Search, potential search, always salvage. Not bad.
The mill is quite good too. Just putting 2 cards in.
Yeah.
I would say there are probably a couple other cards you could probably play over this, but if you prefer that the versatility of just dropping 2 cards, switching them out, this card's pretty good. I'd give it a 2, or let's give it a 3. I think this card will see play, but I just don't know how much.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Shoutouts to all the Prisma Ilia fans, namely Christian. Yeah. Next up, we got Crow Branwyn. It's a 2,500 power level 2 backup, and its other backup ability is to pay 2 when you use the backup. You pay the cost and return all cards in your waiting room to your deck and shuffle.
Refresh counter, not bad. Pretty decent card to have if you're playing standby, I think.
Yeah. You probably play like maybe 1 or 2 in the standby deck. That being said, mostly this would only go in the standby deck because you're probably milling out a lot faster with your little, especially with Zwei. He plays Zwei. I give it a 2.
Fair enough.
Next up, we got Cinder Infiltrating Beacon Academy. Assist all of your level 3 or higher characters in front of this card, get 2,000 power. When this card is placed on stage from hand, if your memory has 2 or less cards, you may choose 1 Amber Fall Maiden in your waiting room and put it into your memory. And at the beginning of your climax phase, if Amber Fall Maiden is in your memory, choose one of your characters and that character gets plus 1,500 power until end of turn.
Oh, is this a spoiler? Dang. This is a lot of power to give to level 3 specifically. And that's for free, essentially. Assuming you get the card assuming the level 0's in your, waiting room when you play this card.
Yeah, 3/5 is a lot of power. Up to 5/5 to 2 different characters. Um, it does. I don't know. You have to. Uh, I'd give it a 2 probably.
Okay.
Solid, just solid.
Only goes in the specific deck for sure. So
Yeah,
you
of
know.
course.
Actually, I mean, you could probably play this if you're
If you're running
already
the
running the level
Fall
0,
Maiden,
right?
yeah,
There's nothing stopping you from running these 2 cards because the 2-1 is like a fairly standard profile, and the 0 is just like good,
it
right?
does
So
give a ton of power.
it's a lot of power.
Yeah.
Seems fine though. I think 2 is fine. 2 is fair. Just want to point out this is not like a gimmick card like the way the 3/2 Cinder is. It's like a very reasonable splash.
Next up, we got RWBY embarking on a new journey. This card gets 2,000 power for each other remnant character in your backstage. And when this card attacks, look at the top card of your deck, put it on top of your deck or into your waiting room.
Another standby card, like a 2/2 standby target. This one does not have hand core.
Solid standby target allows you to fix the top card of your deck when he attacks. Maybe trigger another standby, get another one out. It is 500 power bigger. It's standard. Give it a 2.
Sure.
Next up, we got Pyrrha Nikos. Makeout scene again. If this card is in your center stage, all of your remnant characters get 1,500 power. Pay 2, put a kiss to remember by. Nice. From your climax area, picture it, into your waiting room during your climax phase. When this card is placed on stage by the effect of a kiss to remember by, you may pay the cost if you do stand this card. Choose up to X cards in your opponent's waiting room, return them to their deck, and your opponent shuffles their deck. X is equal to the number of remnant characters you have.
This is a pretty popular profile people run in their standby decks because it's a lot of power. I believe you love this card though, Jeff. You think this is Mega Pogo.
Yeah, it may be controversial or biased, but I really like this card. A lot of people wish this could have been like on trigger, but I think that probably would have been a little too powerful. It changing your opponent's deck state at level 2, having them like have to mill out an extra 5 cards. But this is during your attack, right? You're about to attack when you play on this card for the combo, so it does provide a lot of power to your board. So I'm giving it a 5. A little bias towards standbys, but it is 5 in my eyes.
Yeah, fair. I think absolute slam dunk. Like, man, imagine if you have your opponent has 1 character left in their deck. Like, it's probably just, it's so powerful when they do, so they can't even let their deck state be like that. Crazy. So good. Yeah, I agree, Josh. It's crazy. And, climax, very nice scene. Very nice
Combined
scene.
with the 2/1 support, it gets even better, right? It gets hand uncle.
Sure, I mean, you almost want this card to die, man. You almost want this card to die, though.
Want this card?
So then you could play it again next turn. You do it again.
Yeah, but it's not going to die. How's this card die, dude? It's going to be 11/5 base.
I mean, if they don't kill it, then you didn't need the back row anyways.
True.
Yeah, cool card. Next up, we got RWBY Vital Festival. Dang. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may choose a remnant character in your waiting room and return it to hand. Pay 2, put 2 cards from hand into waiting room. At the end of this card's attack, you may pay the cost. If you do, deal 2 damage to your opponent.
Solid. I really like the first kind of effect. Like any kind of specific salvage or search, and it comes in clutch at level 3.
Grabs a card and can deal more damage. Pushes some damage. So
doesn't need
solid.
climax either.
You have 2.
So yeah.
Straight 2.
Straight 2. Pay 2, ditch 2, deal 2, and give it a 2 on a 3/2. I'm down. Next card we got Cinder Scouting. Pay 1, put a remnant character from your hand into your waiting room. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost. If you do look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, put it into your hand, and put the rest into your waiting room.
It's all right. Yeah.
Interesting fix. Grabs you anything. Grabs your climax. 2 could
It's like the
include.
Cosma. Yeah.
Next up, we got RWBY, Life-Changing Scene. When this card is placed on stage from hand, look at the top card of your deck and put it on top of your deck or into your waiting room. Pay 1, discard a climax card from your hand. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a climax in your waiting room and return it to hand.
A climax swapper, so consistently get the climax you always want in your hand. Pretty decent in this kind, like any deck, I think.
Yeah. You always want to switch out climaxes. I give it 2.
Can someone tell me why this is a life-changing scene, or is that a spoiler?
It just looks black to me, dude.
It's spoiler because someone dies.
You just okay.
I wonder who.
All right.
Spoiler. It's Amber, right? Yeah, it's Amber.
What are you saying, dude?
Cinder leading a grim invasion. During your turn, this card gets 2,000 power. When this card is placed on stage from hand, if your memory has 2 or less cards, you may choose 1. Amber Fall Maiden in your waiting room and put it into your memory. When this card attacks, if Grim Invasion is in your climax area, the door trigger pictured on the right, put the top card of your deck into your waiting room, choose up to 1 level X or lower remnant character in your waiting room, and return to your hand. X is equal to the total level of the cards put into the waiting room by this effect.
Half a cigarettes! Exclamation point cigarettes. This is one of the climaxes for the Mill 5 Brainstorm, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This card, also puts the Amber into memory, so that was your condition for your 2/1.
That's true.
It is being played in a specific deck, so I like this card. It does a lot. Probably give it 2. Give it a 2.
Okay.
Hope we're not spoiling anything.
That's that.
Uniform Pyra. When this card is placed on stage from hand, if you have 2 or more other remnant characters, you may draw a card. If you do, choose a card in your hand and put it into waiting room. When this card becomes reversed, if you have 2 or more other remnant characters and this card's battle opponent is level 1 or lower, you may reverse that character. And when this card is put into your waiting room from stage, if your memory has 2 or less cards, you may choose a Pyra Fall Maiden's Vessel candidate in your waiting room and put it into your memory.
This is a lot of text. Seems pretty good, I think, actually. It's a hand filter. It's a costless hand filter to start, and then is also like consistency for your combo, right? So,
yeah. If you weren't able to put one in, you just put one in. So, not a bad card. You give it a 2. It definitely I'd probably give it a 3 actually. That draw is
yeah, right. It's like it's pretty nice. Sometimes you won't always get the second copy into memory easily, I think. So
yeah,
not bad.
Fair enough. Perfect card to sack with the 1/0 red card, by the way. You bomb one of their cards.
That is true.
Yeah, you bomb one of their cards.
True.
And yeah.
The combination plays.
That's your level 1 game right there, boys.
Next level play, dude. True.
Next we got Uniform RWBY. If you have 2 or more other remnant characters, it gets 2,000 power, and it has character encore.
No, she looks normal here, like an anime character. It's interesting. Standby 1/1. Not much else to say, I think. Right?
Yeah. Little generic 1/1. Give it a 2. Let's move on.
A series of wonderful events.
Uniform Nora.
This pose. Sorry.
All right, Tom.
She's like thrusting her chest out, man. It's like.
All right, bro. Calm down. It's a show.
Look at these, dude.
It's a show, Tom. What do we say about staying calm? I know you might be a little excited here, but
Bing chilling, dude.
Yeah, you're just Bing chilling right now. If you have 4 or more,
she's also Bing chilling.
You have 4 or more remnant characters. This card gets -1 level while in your hand. When this card is placed on stage from hand, this card gets 4,500 power and the following ability until the end of your opponent's next turn. During this card's battle, all players cannot play backup from their hands.
So a lot of people like or hate, depending on perspective, the second effect. Because of Kaguya, of course. The condition is great. What do you think about the second effect, Josh?
Does backup just mean backup, or does it count events? I don't think it counts events, right?
Doesn't count events, no.
Seems pretty fair. I guess you'd play maybe 1 or 2, just in order to deal with a card. The reason why the Kaguya one's so powerful though is because it gets rid of the card for sure. This one can't deal with anything with on Encore, so I'd give it a 2. It's solid, but might not see enough play.
Next up, we got Nadir Shiko. All of your opponent's characters get auto encore pay 2. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may choose a card in your hand and put it into your clock. Wait, what? You may choose a card in your... Oh, put it into your stock. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
What is... Bruh. This flavor text, dude. Do you want to... Nadir Shiko. Wait, why? This isn't Nadir Shiko. This is... Never mind. Priorities. This is okay. This is like a fine card.
Can help you brainstorm on the first turn, or
That's true.
if you can't play 1/1, you used up all your stock on brainstorming. You can play this card down, and then you can play 1/1. Kind of okay. I'd give it a 1 though. I give it a 1.
Oh dang! All right.
Next up, we got Scarlet David. I have the same hairstyle as this guy. The character facing this card cannot move to another position of the stage where this card attacks. Choose one of your remnant characters and it gets 1,500 power until end of turn.
Oh, so this is like an anti-chaser card, right? More or less.
Right.
Well, it attacks at 3k, which like counters like the chasers we've been seeing, I think.
That's true, but
Like Goblin Slayer or whatever.
any runner that's like 2k will also die to this card.
That's true. That is true.
So, solid. I think it's a neat tech card for if you're seeing a lot of runners, and 2, give it a 2.
Okie dokie.
Next up, we got Nadir Shiko. Your other remnant character in the middle position of your center stage gets 1,500 power. When your opponent's climax is placed on their climax area, you may put this card into your stock.
I'm sorry. His name is just too good, dude. And his hair is pink.
Yo.
What is going on with this character?
I remember someone who used to have pink hair.
Yeah, me too. Wait, Yue.
I believe that's where the comparisons end, though.
The glow up, dude. But this guy looks so massive, and you don't.
Sorry, calm down, man.
I think if you dye your hair pink, you might become massive again.
Okay, bro.
This is like kind of weird, actually, right, Josh?
Yeah.
Your opponent can just like you kind of like choose between having the power or the stock, right? Kind of weird, actually.
Yeah. I mean, you give your opponent an extra damage against you, or you can get a free stock.
Right, but you're like losing the power. I think that's just really awkward, actually.
Yeah, it's very. Give it a 1. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I agree. It's just like, yeah, that sounds fair, actually.
No.
What the fuck? What? What?
I'm sure there's a good moment, a good reason.
In an alternate timeline, my dude.
What?
Dude, she's sniping, dude. Or is it he? Is it he? He or she? Can't tell.
Pretty sure it's a girl.
What?
Okay.
How is this
Sniping,
allowed?
dude?
It's clearly
Capitalists down with capitalism. Shoot all the non-conformists.
Oh boy, dude, that's
Minus one
spicy.
social credit. Bing chilling. Headshot. Headshot.
Pay 1, put a card from your hand to waiting room when you level up. You may pay the cost if you do. Search your deck for up to 1 remnant character, reveal it to your opponent, put this in the hand and shuffle your deck. Tap this card, choose one of your remnant characters, and that character gets 1500 power until end of turn.
I like this card more than the last card. That's for sure. But it's still just okay.
I mean, it doesn't give you a plus, right? Like it's a hand filter.
Yeah,
Level
but
up.
when these cards are +1s, they cost 2 stocks, so you know.
That's true, but again, it's just a hand filter, so I don't know. Like, well, 1/5 pump is pretty good, but I give it a 1.
Dude,
minus one social credit, dude.
how is this?
Sorry.
How is this?
You're
What?
about to get sniped. You're
You
about
get
to get
5 for the name.
sniped, Josh.
5 for the name, dude.
Yeah, that's cringe. Next up, we got Fox Alistair. When this card frontal attacks, you may pay the cost if you do choose one of your opponent's characters, and that character gets -1 level until end of turn. And when this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is level 0, you may reverse that character.
Wowie zowie. This would be a cool card like 5 years ago. Maybe.
It kills things that are level 1.
That's true. It does.
Very interesting. But it costs a stock, so maybe you
And
don't
it's just a regular bomb, so you know, not.
I'd give it a 1.
Yeah.
We got Junior Xiong. All of your other remnant characters get 500 power at the beginning of your climax phase. Choose one of your characters, and that character gets 1000 power until end of turn.
Poo poo.
Yeah, agree. Especially at level 1.
Mazadong would snipe this card.
give it a 1.
Yeah.
Go on.
Next up, we got Nora Winning Advice. During your turn, if you have another remnant character, this card gets 3000 power. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 climax with the same card name as a climax in your waiting room. Reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck.
These effects are interesting. I feel like climax swappers have kind of replaced them though.
It having to have the climax in your waiting room seems a little.
Yeah, basically, it's like, yeah, that's why climax swappers have replaced these, right? Because this costs an extra stock, and you're removing a cancel from your deck.
But there is the chance this card kills something. It is 6/5.
That is true. It is
So,
6,500 power.
I think it's playable.
Yeah, it's fine,
but yeah, it paying 2 is just a little, and having the card in your climax in could probably give this 1.
so why does someone have to get their butt in shape?
I don't know. I don't even remember this being a scene, bro.
Peter Port.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Put a card from your hand into waiting room. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost if you do. Choose a remnant character in your waiting room and return it to hand. When this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is level 2 or lower, you may reverse that character.
The anti-standby card for sure. Right. Deal with the level 2 dude.
Reverse it, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It'd be better if it could reverse level 3s as well, or even level 1s. So
It can reverse level 1.
oh,
It can
you're
reverse
right.
level. It's
You're
level
right.
2
You're
or
right. You're right. All right. I'd give it a 1 though.
Okay.
Velvet Scarlettina. All of your other remnant characters get 1,000 power. Pay 1, tap 2. Flip over 4 cards from the top of your deck and put them into waiting room. For each climax among those cards, choose up to 1 character in your waiting room and return it to hand.
Wow. I feel like this is a standby card, right? If anything. Probably don't play this in any other deck, I would assume.
I feel like Global 1K is never terrible. But that's,
Getting on the board is just kind of questionable, I think, in most
well,
decks.
it requiring you to rest too is kind of as a level 2.
It's fine in standby, that's what I'm saying.
True. I don't know. Just a level 2 requiring you to rest 2 cards though. I'd give it a 2. I mean a 1. A 1.
A 1 it is.
Okie dokie.
Next up, we got Salem's Glove. Choose up to 2 characters in your waiting room, return them to your hand, choose a card in your hand, and put it into your waiting room.
Standard at this point, I think. Yeah.
1.
Final event, final card in red, should I say? This 2/3 event, if you have 5 or more other remnant characters, sorry. Choose a character in battle, and that character gets the following ability until end of turn. This card cannot deal damage to a player, and you may choose one of your characters, not just the one in battle, by the way, and that character gets 1,500 power until end of turn.
Anti-damage. Not bad.
Yeah. Gives 1/5 as well.
This is pretty. I mean, this is like the obvious play in like standby, right? I would assume.
You play in. Yeah, you probably play in the gate deck too, but you know.
Sure, yeah. Any deck
Is
where
it-
you're likely to win board on offense. This makes sense. Yeah.
I'd give this a 4. It's really solid. Anti-damage is always good.
Who are the maidens? I assume the 4 titular girls, right?
No. So Amber is one of them.
Okay,
she died.
Smoge.
I mean, spoiler.
Wow, bro, what a spoiler. Okay, that's it for red. And let's wrap it up with blue.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I accidentally clicked deny on that
Smoge.
message. I'm so sorry.
Wow, he probably did it intentionally.
Actually,
No, it was dude. It's so easy to click the wrong thing in chat.
Yeah.
We can move on with blue, though.
Okay, let's do blue
I changed
and let's
this.
wrap up this show. So first blue card we got Weiss Schnee. If you have 2 or more other remnant characters, this card gets 2,000 power. When this card attacks, if Team RWBY is in your climax area and all your other characters are remnant, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Your opponent chooses 1 character or event card from among them. You put it into your hand, and then you choose up to 1 of the revealed cards except the card put into hand. Put it on top of your deck and put the rest into your waiting room.
The tie combo is in English, right? I think so.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the tie combo. Basically the same card, I think.
Yeah. Helps you
Yeah.
trigger standby. I think it's pretty neat. Most people say otherwise, but I personally think this card see a little bit more play than what other people think. So I'm gonna give this a 3.
Okay.
3. That's true. I believe the tie is mainly usable with its interaction with a different card. But it is what it is. Next up, we got Blake Belladonna. If your waiting room has 2 or less climaxes, this card gets -1 level while in hand. It gets 1,000 power for each of your other remnant characters in your backstage, making it 11,000 power most of the time. And Put one card from your hand into waiting room is the cost, and when you play this card, you pay that cost. If you do, put the top card of your clock into your stock.
Pretty similar to the Ichika early play that just in the Quint set that just released. That card is also an 11k early play that heals the stock and has the same condition. That card is pretty good.
Yeah, I seem to notice a lot of these cards gain power for opponents backstage.
No, this is your backstage.
your
so-
This is your backstage. Oh, okay, I misread it. Yeah, this card is really good. It's a very solid early play healer. Gets around anti-heal. Give it a 4. Probably
Nice
seen
too.
a lot of decks.
Is Blake a cat girl? No, Blake is an NBA player that left a bad team to go on a good team.
To go to another bad team, basically.
Hmm.
The Nets suck, dude. The Nets suck, dude.
They're number one in the
What are you
East.
gonna-
They're number one in the
What
East.
are you gonna? Okay, dude, but they're still gonna lose in the playoffs.
Roman Torchwick. Put a hijacking the control ship from your climax area into your waiting room at the beginning of your encore step. You may pay the cost, which is to put the pants trigger into the waiting room. If you do, choose a remnant character in your waiting room and return it to hand. You may tap this card, choose one of your characters, and that character gets plus 1,000 power until end of opponent's turn.
Does this pants combo with anything else? No, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you'd rather play a different combo than this.
Agreed.
It is. Pants trigger makes it a bit better. 'Cause you can get it easier.
Roman Torchwick. That is a
I'd,
name.
I'd give it a 1.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's not.
Are there other sets that have 4 letters for their set code that aren't like
Nope. I think
Fujimi and
it's the
stuff?
first one. It's the first one.
The first one. Cool. Something I noticed.
Torchwick.
All right.
Ironwood.
James
Man, these
Ironwood.
names, man.
Fun fact:
These
this
names.
character is based off of me, entirely based off of me. No cap, no cap. I'm literally
sure about
the
that,
model
dude?
for this character, man.
Okay. dude.
James Ironwood. Yes, that's me. Put one remnant character from your hand into your waiting room. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. Put a card from your hand into your waiting room. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck. Choose one level X or lower character in your waiting room and return it to hand. X is equal to the level of the revealed card.
Kind of a Pogo card, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. A lot of people. Originally, I didn't think this card was very good, but everyone I've talked to about this card has shown me the way, and I'm giving this card a 5 because I think it's an auto occlude 4 of in every deck. So yeah, we're giving it a 5.
I was one of the people that was trying to convince him. I didn't push for 5. I'll be honest, but you know what? Hell yeah, I'm down.
I'm down too.
I'm down. I'm glad that I get to be a 5.
Dude, this can reveal
This
the anti-damage
character is not you,
and then
dude.
draw the anti-damage.
You wish this card were you.
Bro, bro. He's even Chinese or Asian, dude. That's me, man.
His name's literally James Ironwood.
Yeah, but he clearly looks Asian. I'm down. Okay, whatever.
True.
Next up, Mercury Block. All of your other remnant characters get 500 power. When your character trigger reveals a door in its trigger icon, choose one of your characters, and that character gets 2,000 power until end of turn.
Door deck card, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
Apart from that, seems kind of poop.
Play in the door deck. 2.
Next we got Winter Schnee. When this card is placed on stage from hand, if you have another remnant character, it gets 2,000 power until end of turn. And then when this card attacks, if you have 2 or more other remnant characters and that character and the character facing this card is level 2, it gets 6,000 power until end of turn.
Standard level 2 attacker. Yeah.
It kills level 2s. Give it a 2.
Yep.
Give it a 2 to kill.
Next up, Weiss Summoning assists All of your remnant characters in front of this card gets 2,000 power. It is a on-play healer, so, put the top card of your clock into your waiting room. And then act ability to tap this card. Look it up to 2 cards from the top of your deck and put them on top of your deck in any order.
This is the assist of choice, I assume, for standby decks.
Yeah. But it's probably interchangeable with most of them. It is a healer. It's got that going for it. But you're most
It's like the Goblin Slayer card you said before, I think.
Yeah, I believe that was it's solid, but I'd have to give it a 2 because you could probably just interchange it with just the other assists. So give it 2.
Next up, we got Neapolitan, my favorite ice cream flavor. She even has all 3 of the colors in her color scheme.
Oh, just favorite girl, dude. It's on my shirt. Favorite girl.
Oh, that's the girl?
Yeah.
I see. Is that your waifu, Jesh?
Yeah. Best.
All right, never mind. I no longer not like Neapolitan ice cream. Pay 1 when this card is placed on stage from your hand. You may pay the cost. If you do, choose a climax in your waiting room and return it to hand. Put a remnant character from your hand into your waiting room. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 2 characters in your opponent's waiting room and put them on separate open positions of their stage.
There's a pretty obvious combination play you can do with this card with the RWBY standby level 3 combo. Apart from that, though, I think salvaging a climax is pretty alright.
Pay 1 to salvage a climax.
Yeah.
Well, pay 3. Pay 3 to salvage a climax.
Yeah.
Probably just play the event though. It's playable definitely and helps you get the RWBY combo off. I'd give it a 2 though. Just because it is scenario based.
It actually works with a lot of cards we saw already. It works with the red one too because that's on reverse. It works with the clock. Like it actually works with almost all the level 3s.
True.
Yeah, it does. But again, you have to be on those turns, and you have to. I don't know. There's
Also,
a lot
your
of setup
opponent has to
required.
have empty slots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Blake going undercover. The climax on the right is actually pretty funny.
It's cute.
So like activist childhood. That is. Mazadong, where are you?
Oh, stop.
Did you guys hear the police sirens in my
shoot
background?
Gotta shoot the imposters. That's Mazadong is coming for you too. Your social credit is too low. You're not being chilling.
When this card is placed on stage from your hand, look it up to X cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 card from among them, put it into your hand, and put the rest into your waiting room. X is equal to the number of remnant characters you have. When this card attacks, if Activist Childhood, which is the climax, is placed in your climax area, look it up to 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. Choose up to 2 cards from among them, put them on top of their deck in any order, and put the rest into their waiting room. And then do the same thing with your deck.
Right. Mocha, but she doesn't heal.
Yeah.
Basically, she does something else. Yeah.
It grabs her own climax.
That is true.
Well, or could possibly. Who knows? But if you're playing down 3 of them,
could get an
down
event.
3 of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
true. It is very small. 11k is like okay. Mocha combo is always good though. Very valid top end. I give it a 3.
Okay.
Next up, we got Weiss Focusing. Put a climax from your hand to your waiting room. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a remnant character in your waiting room and return it to hand. And this ability activates up to 2 times per turn. When your other remnant character is placed on stage from your hand, this card gets 1,000 power until end of turn.
Wait. Right. So, mostly just a ditch. You mostly play this for the first effect, I would imagine. A lot of utility cards in this set just get big. Like they get power. It's interesting.
I think the flavor is probably that they're all teammates. So when you play more down, it
Oh, yeah.
helps to power up, right?
Fair enough.
It's interesting utility. Give it a 2.
Next up, we got Blake. Focusing on her sights. All of your other remnant characters get in front of this card get X power. X is equal to that character's level times 500. Pay 1, put a climax from your hand to your waiting room. Act ability to choose a remnant character in your waiting room and return it to hand.
This just seems like the poorest assist we've seen so far. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't know.
It's not-
I like it's
It's like-
playable, but
it's okay if your triggers are pants or bar, right? It's like, but
I just don't want it. I
That's
just
true.
never
Fair
want to see
enough.
this card. I'd give it
Yeah.
a 1.
It's okay. It's okay, Jess. She probably doesn't want you either.
Oh, dude, that's
Oh,
Smoke.
is this Jesh's favorite character? I don't know.
Yeah, but she might be
not
coming to
alright.
him at the middle of the night to mug him, you know, with the...
What are you saying?
She's holding a gun, bro.
I'm so confused. I mean, yeah, but that doesn't mean okay.
Reference. Inside joke. Neptune Vasilius.
dude.
When this card is placed
Cool, dude.
on stage from hand, choose one of your remnant characters, and that character gets 1500 power until end of turn. When this card becomes reversed, if the level of this card's battle opponent is higher than your opponent's level, you may put that character at the bottom of your opponent's deck.
What we call in a Dachi a level 1 anti-change counter, level 1 anti-change bomb, rather. Sorry, and it does a pretty decent effect. Otherwise, what the? God, this guy's so fast. All right, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, all these utility give or gain power. You know, you play it. Yeah, I think.
Wait, this is Ninja. Holy shit!
Onto the battle bus. Let's go.
Holy shit!
I'd give it a 2. I'd give it a 2. I'd give it a 2.
Wait, is this actually Ninja?
No.
Okay.
No, okay. Because I mean, I would not be surprised if like this were actually Ninja and he voiced this character or whatever.
Dude,
Okay,
literally
okay,
same
okay.
person,
Not-
right?
Not Ninja. All right, we're good. Next card,
What did Jesh rate it?
2, I think.
Give it 2.
Next up, we got Jacques Snee. It's a 3000 power backup, and when you use the backup ability, you choose the character in battle, and it gets the ability to put the character it reverses into memory for the turn.
Memory kick counter. Yeah, standard.
Yeah, interchangeable with the other counters we've seen. Give it a 2.
Next up, we got Mercury Scouted. This card gets 1000 power for each of your other remnant characters. And when this card is placed on stage from hand, if you have 4 more other remnant characters, you may choose a remnant character in your waiting room and put it into your stock.
A 2/2 standby thing, kind of, but also not really because of the second effect.
This card looks like it wants you to play it from your hand.
Yeah, but it's
So
just. I
And
agree.
prob-
It's very
and prob-
confusing.
10 points. Not terrible. Not a terrible stat line, but if you're playing it from hand,
Yeah, I agree.
I give this a 1.
Question
I'd probably-
marks.
Yeah.
Next up, we got RoboCop. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, put them on top of your deck in any order, and then choose up to one of your opponent's characters and return it to their hand. When this card attacks, choose one of your remnant characters, and that character gets X power until end of turn. X is equal to the number of remnant characters you have times 500. By the way, this is me, right?
Based on you?
Yeah, it's based on
you?
me. Yeah, that's
dude.
me, bro. Chisel as okay.
Yeah, dude.
All right, definitely.
It's a bouncer. You probably just play it because it's a bouncer. If you need that effect. Everything else is just nice, I guess, if you already run the card.
Stacks all 3 of your triggers. Allows you to swing into open lane and kill another one, maybe. I feel like a level 3 should give more power when it's giving power. I give this a 2. You play for mostly because of the bounce.
Next up, we got Uniform Blake. At the beginning of your climax phase, choose one of your remnant characters, and that character gets 1,000 power until end of turn. It is a Brainstorm. It doesn't have a tap condition, so you can use it over and over and over again. Flip for each climax hit, search and discard.
It's just a nice spammable Brainstorm if you need it, I guess. The first effect is not bad.
Giving 1k, never terrible. And milling out your deck if you need it. I give it 2. I give it 2. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Next up, we got Neptune Vital Festival. If there is a marker underneath this card, it gets 2,000 power. And when this card is placed on stage from hand, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a remnant character, you may put it face down underneath this card as a marker.
Standard level 0 oversize. Yeah.
Yeah. Interchangeable with other plussing zeros.
Misses on events and climaxes.
Unfortunate.
So, yeah.
I don't know. I'd still probably give this a 2. You might see people who value the oversize more, especially against runners, right?
Next up, we got Shopkeep. It's just a vanilla. We don't review vanillas on this show, but Jess, you want to rate it?
Man, just for that face, bro, we gotta give it a 5. Like, can you not?
All right, I'm down. This is the first time we're reviewing a vanilla on the show. I'm down.
Everyone should have one copy of this in their binder.
Now, this character is based on UA.
I'm not balding. It's just a big forehead. Oh my god.
Dude, but he's a shopkeep, man.
All right, Smoj. Next card.
And he's getting mugged.
Nolan Porfirio. When this card is placed on stage from hand, choose one of your opponent's characters, and that character gets the following ability until end of opponent's turn. This card cannot move to another position of the stage. When this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is cost 0 or lower, you may put that character at the bottom of your opponent's deck.
Yeah, I don't know. Seems kind of.
Is that the first ability ever going to be useful?
It's like okay against standby decks, but like again, if against standby decks, not many cost zeros to deal with, so kind of like weird.
Counterintuitive in a sense.
Very weird, yeah.
I don't know. I give this card a 1. Kind of.
Dude, someone pointed out that the entire thing we have it written as RWBY instead of
RWBY.
No way. I don't think.
No, it's we. On our PowerPoint, we messed up.
It's our. It's on me.
It's on me.
The cards. They're printed correct. It's printed correctly.
Pretty funny. Whoops. Next up, we got Bowlin Hoary. When this card is placed on stage from hand, this card gets X power until end of turn. X is equal to the number of remnant characters you have times 1,000. Pay 1 when this card's level 2 or higher battle opponent becomes reversed. You may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 remnant character. Reveal it to your opponent, put it into hand, and shuffle your deck.
Kind of reminiscence of the Megumin 2-1 from Konosuba that salvages on reverse to pay. Like you pay one to salvage instead of paying one to search. This is like okay. This is like fine.
It also hits against level 2s.
That's true. Level 2 or higher, yeah.
That's pretty good. I think it's playable. If you ever need that extra power, and it is a search over the salvage. I give it a 2.
Uniform Weiss. This card gets 500 power for each other remnant character in your backstage, and when this card attacks with the character facing this card is level 3 or higher, it gets 6,000 power until end of turn.
14k. This just seems worse than the last card, if I'm going to be honest. So
yeah, if you're trying to kill level 3s, you probably want to use the other card.
Yeah, and there's so much power like given from cards in the set anyways, right? Yeah. So
you might as well get the +1. So
Yeah.
I give this a 1. It's just a better card to play.
Oh, it's
Oh shit.
it's dust. Choose one of the following effects and perform it. You may put the top 2 cards of your stock into your waiting room. If you do, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 remnant characters from among them. Reveal them to your opponent and put them into your hand and put the rest into a waiting room. Or you may choose a shopkeep in your hand and put it into waiting room. If you do, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 remnant characters from among them. Reveal them to your opponent and put them into your hand and put the rest into your waiting room.
Wait. Oh, I see. So it's like a pay 2 +1 or like a Azusa thing?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. This
I-
doesn't seem good.
It doesn't, but like you know, just paying 2 to +1 seems okay.
But it's on
Well,
an
you-
event. It's not like it's random, dude.
Hey, if
I
you
don't
play
know.
4 of it, man, you play 4.
Oh yeah, you're gonna
see
play 4
one.
of this card.
Alright, yeah, you know, you're right. In order to pop off the Azusa effect, you have to play a vanilla, which I did rate 5,
Yeah.
but
But then why would you ever discard your 5-star card? So
Yeah.
yeah, come on, man.
so we have to give the dust a 1. Yeah, this card is just
Oh
you probably
shit.
don't get it.
All right, and that's it for blue. Let's do the
Ooh,
promos
fine.
first, and then we'll do our final
Oh, scam.
supply set giveaway.
Yeah.
Promos first. Smoke, guys. We got Yang Team Ruby. During your turn, this card gets 1,000 power for each of your other remnant characters, and when this card is placed on stage from hand, choose one character in your opponent's center stage, and that character gets 1,000 power until end of opponent's next turn.
For those of you confused about the second effect, it is just demerit because this card is larger than it should be, technically. Pretty bad. Pretty bad card. Giving 1k to a character at level 2 is like, what if they're playing standby and they just have like 2/2s and 3/2, you know, like.
It is quite big though, but
Yeah, but it doesn't keep the power either, so it's gonna die for sure.
yeah, and especially we saw the other 2 cards that also get very big at level 2.
Yeah,
Um,
not the greatest.
Fortunately, I have to give this card a 1.
Yep.
Scarf though.
All right, Pago. Next up, we got Ruby, Team Ruby. This card cannot side attack. If you do not have any other characters, it gets 1 level and 1,500 power.
Ooh, this is pretty good. Actually, I think it seems pretty good. But what do you think, Jesh?
Does require. Yeah, actually, you could attack with this, and the coin flipper we saw. You could
Yeah,
put the coin.
you could also play
back to
this
your hand.
with the Rize, and that card removes itself from the board, right? You can like do some cool plays with this.
Card seems solid.
I can tell you from experience, 4/5 level 1 is very hard for most decks to deal with at level 0. So
I'd probably give this card a 4. I don't know if it's auto include in every deck, but I think it's a very good card. Very, very good card.
Yeah, I think in 8 standby, it's like either this or the TD runner. And this is honestly pretty good because it incentivizes you to play how you want to play at 0 anyways.
Yeah,
that's not true. If
slow.
you
You
trigger
wanna-
standby, it's FF angle. Never mind.
that's kind of.
But for a turn
If
1,
you trigger standby, if you trigger standby, you 1 level 0 anyways, right? So it's like,
it's true. It's true.
No, I have to let's lower. I have to lower it to a 3 because I just don't know how this card's actually gonna perform like in some decks.
Fair.
So,
okay.
Fair
Fair
let's
enough.
lower it to a 3. Yeah.
Though,
This card's very good though. I do think it's very good.
if my level 0 plusing 0 gets to have an art like this, I'm fucking down. You know, it's nice.
I mean, 3k later on in the game's not terrible.
By the way, Waste Tea Time wanted me to mention that these are also the same cards that come in the variety, the supply sets like that. You guys are winning, right?
Ooh.
You guys
Do you
can
get a playset
pull
of all of them?
No,
Or
there's
you
an
get one of
alternate
each?
foil version of one of them. Alternate
Okay,
art
okay.
foil version. Pretty exciting.
Okay.
Pretty nice. Pretty nice.
So yeah, these come in the supply sets. Someone said, just realized Ruby can be lengthened into Ryan Wibberly.
Oh my god. dude.
The set is literally Ryan Wibberly. Weiss Team Ryan Wibberly. When this card is placed on stage in your hand, this card gets 1500 power until end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, if you have a climax in your climax area, you may put the top card of your deck into your stock. This might be a standby card, a deck to play.
It could be a standby card. Yeah, you're right. It could be a standby card.
So, but it's a level 0 though. Like maybe if it's a level 1, that was like 4 or 5. But...
Oh, Josh, think standby is the only decks that are okay with slamming their climax at 0.
Oh, does it require that you have a? Oh, it does. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, no, this card's much better.
Yeah, it's like pretty. Yeah, it's worth considering for sure. Blue fix, you know. But
give it.
You already have an OP
3.
blue card, so
Give it.
Yeah.
I give it a 3 here because I just don't know how much
Great.
you value this card.
I forgot to
That does
close
seem
the 3,
A
so
lot better.
thank you for making it a 3. I'm down. And finally, we got Blake Team RWBY. Blake Team Nets. When this card attacks, choose one of your other remnant characters, and that character gets X power until end of turn. X is equal to that character's soul times 1,000.
Like a variant of the Shimakai ability. It does the same thing essentially.
Considering
doesn't
there's no
need full
card
board.
that pumps soul in this set, this card seems really bad. Like,
What? It's like the same as Shimakai, dude.
doesn't it just pump 1k?
I mean, it'll pump 2k if you have a climax combo, which is like,
Oh, that's depending on which class.
or if you have like a 2/2, right? It'll pump
I don't know,
2k as well.
Yeah, it's good in some
These
decks.
cards are fine. They're like fine.
I will say all these promos are really pretty. I'd give this 2 though.
We got one more promo. It's Blake and Yang new uniforms. When this card attacks, if all your characters are remnant, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 1 card from among them, put it on top of your deck, and the rest into waiting room. When this card becomes reversed in battle, if this card's battle opponent is level 0, you may put that character at the bottom of opponent's deck.
So okay card.
Well, I think there are other zeros you can play. They're much better.
Yeah. Especially blue, right? There's so much competition, I think, actually. So
I'd probably give this card a. It gets rid of a card. I give it a 2. Let's give it 2.
yeah, it's like fine.
And there you have it, folks. I go back to the first. I can. That's the best ever Weiss Schwarz set review show, episode 19.5. RWBY.